This is the Ivy League astrologer with the Vedic Taurus August 2015 reading. I am clearly not at home right now. Yeah, I'm actually on vacation, and I meant to do the monthlies before I left, but it just didn't work out that way, so I'm doing them from the mountains. So I hope the change of scenery is pleasant for you as it's pleasant for me. Let's see what's coming up for Vedic Taurus for August. Okay, so the first card out is the Devil in reverse. So I feel like for a lot of you, some old ideas that were holding you down and making you just feel really heavy that you just couldn't figure out, I feel like you're getting like a better grasp on them this month, or maybe have been already coming into the month. And you're able to see a bit more clearly where you've been foolish. I think that's a big thing for people, or how someone else is playing the fool. But I feel like it's more to me of a vibe of like, it's two things. It's one, it's like you may be seeing that like what you've been waiting for is kind of not worth waiting for. Like this thing that was kind of your baby or was like you thought was like your perfect way forward, is really not all it's cracked up to be. So I feel like for some people that may be going on, but I don't think you're off the ride. I don't think you get released from this. I don't think you get released from that connection. I think it's more that you're kind of like feeling like you've been a fool to kind of have these like Pollyanna visions of how it would go or something. So I just feel like you're seeing things a bit more clearly. So for some people, it'll be that you're thinking, oh my goodness, like I've been a fool to behave in this way, or to think that it would be so easy, or to think that all you have to do is find the right person and everything else will work itself out. Or to behave in such a way that was so questionable. Questionable is a big thing that's coming up here. And for other people, again, it's really that you're getting a different perspective. You'll be like, I've been massively wrong towards someone, and for some people, it'll be that you realize that you've wronged someone, and for other people, it'll be that you realize that you have been wrong in going after what you've been going after, or that the reasons you've been going after it need to be examined. Not so much that what you want is wrong, but like the way that you think it's all going to come together may need a little examination. And I feel like that's going to set you off on a new path. If you are realizing that you have been wrong towards someone, I feel like it's like a neither hell nor high water is going to hold you back from saying what you need to say to this person, trying to make amends, getting back there. I feel like you're really set on getting back there and making it right, and on reaping what needs to be, on getting things together. And I think in a lot of cases on moving towards a home and stability with this person. Like that's what's in your mind. They may not want that. I feel like they're going to be a little more reserved, or a little more like, I don't know, homie, you haven't been around, But I feel like they'll be willing to listen to you. I feel like they'll let down their guard and spend time with you at least, so that they can kind of see if the spark is still there. And I think the spark is still there, honestly. But I think the spark is still there in a way that it doesn't really have a way to move forward. There's no going back to where you were, where you came from, which feels like it was kind of negative and bitchy, gossipy is kind of what's coming up. Like people whispering, is kind of what's coming up. So it feels like that's what you're trying to transcend if you're the Taurus that needs to make amends this month, is you realize that has happened and you realize how wrong that was, and you are exerting a great deal of strength to kind of get things back on track. And I feel like you really do want to move them forward if you are the person who's trying to make amends. But I feel like I just feel like whatever you're working on is a little stuck in between. There's no way to go back, and the way forward is a little bit of a pipe dream at this point. It's a little bit of a, like, wouldn't that be great? I really feel like for a lot of Taurians this month that you're trying to make amends, you want to do this sort of grand gesture kind of thing and make everything perfect. So either you're realizing that your ideals of perfection are like not based in reality, or you're super having those ideals of perfection that are not based in reality this month. Um, and I feel like the way to move forward with this person that you want to move forward with, if you're making amends, is very blocked. There's no clear way to do that, and I feel like that is going to be disappointing to you, because I feel like you do feel like the renewal of the relationship is important, and like it's going to bring you what you need, what you've been waiting for all this time, you know? So I feel like if you're working towards being with someone, the advice is to kind of keep working on it, you know, sleep on it, and think about what happens after you're past the phase of enchantment, you know, after you're past the phase of like, oh my gosh, like everything's technicolor and beautiful and like, oh my gosh, it's just so amazing. So it's like after that, what happens? What happens in the cold hard light of day is, I feel like, what you're being encouraged to think about in order to bring the most to the situation, and in order to eventually push you forward and also raise you up a level in your thinking and in your mastery and your control over yourself and over your life in some way. So that was coming through very strongly for Taurians trying to make amends. If you are a Taurus who is just kind of realizing that like you've been a little off in your thinking, and that you really kind of, and the way that you've been thinking is actually just going to kind of lead you back down an old path, an old blind alley. You know, it's like you've been thinking that like if you just get with this person and you get married, then everything else is going to take care of itself. But I feel like if that's how you've been thinking and you're realizing that this month, then I feel like you're going to make strides to change that within yourself. I feel like you are making strides to cut that out, you know, to be more realistic and to be more grounded in your expectations. And I feel like that's actually going to really help you to get the home that you want in a healthy way. So I feel like for a lot of Taurians, it's like this Saturn and Scorpio work that you've been doing is going to start paying off for you. Because Saturn does station at the beginning of August, so we should be out of the like full-on muck and able to kind of start to move forward, start to get an idea of how we're going to move forward. So I feel like for some Taurians, that's what's happening for you this month, is that you actually are able to take steps towards building a healthier home base for yourself and being more self-protective, I think. Drawing appropriate boundaries and taking a really good look at what you need to emotionally survive, and ensuring that you get that, and refusing offers that don't give you everything that you want. So I feel like this is a month for you Taurians that have been kind of in like a starry-eyed place, and are realizing that that place, maybe you felt that before, and maybe it's, you know, has always ended up in the same kind of not so sorry place. I feel like this is a really great month for you guys to kind of rehab that thinking, and to be really strong about it too. And but it's not that you're not being receptive. It's just that you're having a little more. You're taking more time to think about things, again in this like cold hard light of day kind of way. Rather than just the butterflies you feel in your stomach. You know, rather than just being emotional about it, I feel that you're being very practical and analytical about things this month, and I think that's healthy for you. Also, getting out and about is healthy for you. You may be kind of tempted while you're kind of going through all these things in your mind to just kind of stay at home and be with yourself. But it seems like it's very healthy for you to get out with your friends, and I think that you may meet someone important while you're out and about. Um, And this may be someone who you have a connection with, but it's not able to kind of start right away. But I feel like this will come back around for you if that's how this plays out for you. That you meet somebody pretty cool and pretty special. And this could be a reconnection also. But it's not workable at this time. I think that will come back around for you in a positive way. But this is really a month for kind of setting things up. So it's steering your way out of the rough waters that you've been in and into calmer waters with like a more clear-eyed vision. And that may be a little disappointing, you know, but I feel like ultimately it's very healthy for you, and ultimately it feels spiritually right. You know, I feel like, again, there's like spiritual lessons for some Taurians this month from your recent experience, and there's also um, a sense of mastery, of being able to master the emotional and the practical, and kind of help to iron out some problems in your family as well, um, to kind of get you back to health and back on the right track. So I feel like the Wheel of Fortune is spinning in the correct direction, and you do need that time to kind of meditate upon, like, what is, you know, the things that you want, what do they look like in the day to day? What does that look like? What does that feel like? And how do I get there? So I feel like that's a big thing for Taurus this month. Um, it's almost like long range planning. But I feel like that long range planning is really good for you and is going to get you where you want to go. So, yeah, so that's what I see for Vedic Taurus for August 2015. Thank you so much for watching. And if you want to get in touch, if you'd like a personal reading, my email address is theivyleagueastrologer@gmail.com. And my link for scheduling appointments is down below. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Bye.